Let's take a look at the 6'8" sophomore forward out of Colorado, Jabari Walker, a young man who shot 34% from three this past season on 3.2 attempts a game, and 52% from three in his freshman season on 1.7 attempts a game. He also shot just under 80% from the free throw line in his 2-year career at Colorado. As you see him here, able to come off, read a screen, step into, knock that shot down, and then off a defensive rebound here, which is one of the things he does absolutely best, he's going to go in transition and dribble into a three, something he looked very comfortable doing in a few possessions, limited possessions. I'm not saying he did it a ton, but in a few possessions in the games I watched. You can just see right away the theme of this breakdown, which is his versatility, getting to his shot in multitude of ways. Here, even though he's going to miss this shot, again, not a super efficient 34%, but he's going to ghost this ball screen, step into it, not able to knock it down. So there's some shooting metrics I think you could really believe in. The free throw shooting for his career, the freshman three-point percentage, just not quite as good this past season. And then in the mid-range, he was only 32%, 10 of 31. As you see off this inbounds play, he's not able to knock it down. So I think there's some numbers you could look at that are encouraging, and then also some numbers you could look at that may give you room for pause. Then let's look at his all-around scoring game. One thing that I was hoping to see more of was his ability to just take advantage of mismatches like he has here because of his versatility on the defensive end, which we'll get to later in the breakdown. He just wasn't able to do it as much as I thought. Doesn't have a real scoring package, even in terms of going to the rim and then finishing at the rim. You do see him come down with an offensive rebound there, which he does really, really well. Not really good with his left. Only 28 total drives this past season to his left and 5 of 15 when trying to finish with his left. As you see him get to his spot here, attacking the closeout, but actually ends up trying to pass this instead of finishing. And he was not efficient in catch and drive situations, just 19% around the rim on catch and drives. So definitely some areas for improvement in terms of finishing around the rim. Overall, he was 45% on a total of 253 attempts. But again, you see him here kind of working out of the mid post against what should be an advantageous matchup, as he wasn't able to finish, maybe one where he could have went to his left hand and finished high off the glass. Now, it wasn't all negative. There's definitely some versatility, which I'll get to, a variety of ways in which he scores, and he was able to get downhill and just drive through contact as you see him play through the defender there, and it got him to the free throw line at almost 5 attempts per game. Earlier, I showed him ghost a screen. Here, he's going to screen and roll to the rim, able to catch and finish that one. So here's where we start to see the versatility in the variety of ways which he can score. Again, grabbing a defensive rebound, has a little bit of grab and go. He's going to be able to attack the defender on this one and then go to his favorite, which is his spin move, getting all the way to the rim and finishing on that one. And then also he can just go and get out if somebody else gets the rebound. So beats the defense down the floor. You're again going to see him go to that spin move, gets fouled, and gets himself to the free throw line. 4.9 attempts a game. Here, made a great rotation on defense, got his hands up, forced a turnover, and then we're going to see him go to the transition post up. I don't think he's a guy you're just going to post up in the half court running sets to, 39% around the rim in those situations. It was one of his higher play types, but in transition, off cuts, unsettled situations, I think it's something he can do, and he's good with his footwork and positioning. So he gets down there right away, unsettled defense in transition, gets himself an open dunk at the rim. Really like his ability to do that. Here you're going to see him do it again, but when it has to be a move, you see him not quite as efficient. So he gets that position, but it's not just a catch and score, has to go to a drop step, goes to that left hand, not able to knock it down, but this kid's going to continue to play. 2.2 offensive rebounds per game for Jabari Walker. Now, some were of this variety where he misses and gets his own. Again, got to get better finishing around the rim, but he's just a worker. You're going to see him follow his teammates drive in here and get the putback dunk. 20% of his attempts around the rim were of the putback variety. And then I think he's going to be a good off-ball cutter. This one doesn't end up getting anything for his team, but it's a beautiful cut from the weak side. So the double team came in the post. He cuts in here, flattens out the weak side defense. He's going to hold this defender and create a 2-on-1 advantage for his teammates on the weak side here with just one guy to guard him. If this pass comes out of the double team, his cut has created a major advantage for his team, it doesn't end up working out that way, but he's just a guy that's going to do those things off ball. I also think he can be a dunker spot guy. Not the same exact thing here, but he drives and kicks in transition, then he respaces the floor to create an advantage to catch, and he's ready to go ahead and attack the basket. 6'8", 6'11 wingspan, not a huge vertical, but a guy that can get off the floor enough to finish. Now, one area where I do think he has to improve is his passing. So this clip is very different to me than the one I showed earlier where he's driving with his left. He's forced the help defender up. His teammate is wide open right here. He also has teammates wide open on the perimeter. He's got 5 guys almost in the lane. He ends up passing it, but he's not able to convert it. And so I do think this is something he has to improve on. Not that he's going to be creating a lot, but just making the simple plays. 1.2 assists a game last season, 2.2 turnovers per game. I talked about him just driving through contact, straight line drives, playing through that contact. But right now, he's forced the help defender. This is a really good shooter for Colorado. He needs to get rid of this ball, drive and kick it to him. I think that's going to be huge for Jabari Walker. Just be able to drive and kick, and then when the defense doesn't help, go ahead and play through that contact and score. On defense, again, the versatility. I thought this possession against Arizona showcased it all. Off ball, steps over and helps. Now he's going to recover to Dalen Terry. He's going to guard him. Now he's going to switch onto the big. We'll see him do all sorts of coverages in the ball screen. Now he's guarding the post player off ball, working down in the post. Helps again there on the baseline drive, steps out, another ball screen. He's going to play some drop coverage here, maybe gets a little bit high, but now he's playing drop coverage, guarding the screener, and then he's guarding the post again, fronting, and going to use that 6'11 wingspan to go up and get a deflection. I thought that possession as a whole showcased what he's able to do versatility-wise. And then I just showed drop coverage in the ball screen. Now he's going to come out and hard hedges. So he did multiple different coverages, and that's what he brings on the defensive end. How about now guarding the ball handler in a ball screen? So they're going to end up switching this, but you see against Juzang, he's able to get over that ball screen and get back in front. Again, they end up switching it, but he was going to be able to get there. And then he gets down and grabs a defensive board. So a guy that's going to give multiple efforts. Another ball screen, now he's going to switch it. So we've seen drop, we've seen hedge, we've seen switch, we've seen him get over a ball screen. Now he's going to move his feet, stay in front. Really nice possession on the perimeter there. Now it wasn't all perfect. If I have questions defensively, it's his perimeter defense staying in front of quicker guys. So here against Juzang, he's just going to rip through, immediately has him beat off about one dribble, gets to the rim and scores a bucket there. And we're going to see it against Utah as well. Just get blown by, immediately beat after 1-2 dribbles. He continues to play and he's going to get a block on this one. Not something he did a lot, but I do have a few questions about him guarding on the perimeter. Now, I've spent a lot of time talking about his versatility offensively and defensively. One thing I'm interested to see is if his game translates to the NBA level to guard traditional big men, 5 men, and hold up in the post. You see here, he takes the contact, able to hold his ground pretty well, even with his slight frame. But I'm not sure that translates, especially early on. At times, he gets a little too straight up. I think he's going to have to lower his center of gravity, and he's going to have to put on a little bit of strength and weight to really keep guys away from the rim in those situations. And then he also struggled at times to come up with defensive rebounds when guarding the primary post player. And defensive rebounding is one thing he absolutely does best. Average almost 7 defensive rebounds a game this past season. 7 just on the defensive end. As you see there, his big's getting a box out and he comes in and attacks the rebound. When I'm looking for high-level defensive rebounders, do they rotate and get box outs? And do they go attack rebounds that may be out of their area? And I think that's something Jabari Walker definitely does. He only averaged 0.8 steals per game, so not a guy that was super disruptive, but in the games I watched, you could see the makings of a guy who would see rotations come over, really good with his wingspan and his hands, and so maybe he can be disruptive in that way. And then finally, one thing I don't know that he's going to bring is weak side rim protection. I alluded to it earlier, but just barely over a half a block a game. You see him here, he comes, he sees it, he recognizes it, but not really able to go up and contest and get a block on that one. With that said, the all-around versatility this kid brings on both ends of the floor is very intriguing.